Beavers laces it to right field. That's down for a base hit. Buck Britton wheels around Jackson. He's coming home. Laureano with the throw. It's late, and the runner is in. Jeremiah Jackson scores on the go-ahead base hit from Dylan Beavers, and the Orioles take a 4-3 lead here in the 7th.
Yeah, courtesy of Masson last night, the Orioles won a baseball game. That was fun. How about that? They still know how to do that, which is kind of
The Orioles were playing last night?
They were. You were busy watching.
I was watching the game of the
Bill
week.
Belichick get smoked. Glenn Clark Radio, Tuesday edition of the program. Good to be back. Hope you had a great holiday weekend. As we get ready for week 1 and Ravens-Bills coming up on Sunday night. Today's show brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Columbia, and Frederick. I took a protein peptide last night. Feel pretty good today, despite the fact that I was awake at 4 a.m. yesterday, and it really threw me off. Really threw everything. I got to do it again on Friday. Awesome. Call Game Day Men's Health at Owings Mills, 443-264-4454. In Columbia, 443-266-3505. In Frederick, 240-931-3717. I was feeling sluggish. I was feeling run down. You get into your 40s. As men, we just don't feel the same as we did when we were young. Maybe you're a little bit past your 40s. Maybe you're in your, add a few to that. This is a great way to start feeling like yourself again. And it might not just be, for me, I needed peptide proteins. Perhaps you really are low T, or maybe you're dealing with erectile dysfunction issues, or perhaps it's stubborn belly fat that just won't come off. They've got you covered at Game Day Men's Health. GameDayMen'sHealth.com is the website. Sign up for a complimentary testosterone test right now. Yeah, Orioles win 4-3. Neat. I don't know what to say other than that. It's obviously been a difficult stretch for the Orioles. I don't think that's what I'm going to say. Kyle Bradish wasn't great last night. That's okay. That's okay. That doesn't mean I'm canceling Kyle Bradish plans for 2026, but he certainly wasn't great last night. Dylan, all the young guys, that was the nice part about last night. Not all the young guys, but specifically some of the young guys were major contributors last night, and that was the part that you were hoping for. That hasn't always been the case. Samuel Basayo with a couple of doubles. That was very nice to see after Samuel Basayo got his deal. Everybody was like, wait a second. Thought you were supposed to hit like crazy. He did have the home run on Saturday. Dylan Beavers, man of the match, because
big hit off a future Oriole, Robert Suarez.
That's right, future Oriole Robert Suarez, who was forced into the game early. Dylan Beavers with his second hit of the night delivered the game-winning RBI. He had scored on Basayo's double earlier, and of course he made that catch that you saw, that lunging, running catch, robbing Manny Machado. So Dylan Beavers, for offense and defense, gets the man of the match honor. Jeremiah Jackson continues to hit 3 more hits. He was man of the match on Saturday, as you see, for the first time this season, in the only other game the Orioles won since the last time we were here. So, last night was kind of what you were hoping this would be late in the season, where the young guys are contributing. There were pleasant things that you would like to build off of. Rico Garcia continues to dominate. All of the things that we knew were going to be a part of it moving forward. But unfortunately, that just hasn't been the case. Tyler Wells will make his first start of the season, his first appearance of the season tonight, because that's something we're still forcing, and the Orioles will go to a 6-man rotation at that point as the Orioles continue their series in San Diego. Not a whole lot more to say about that. The Ravens got back to work yesterday after players had the weekend off. A little bit of an odd week because typically they don't do a lot of media availability on Mondays, but they did do both practice viewing and media availability, and Jaziah Alexander was not on the practice field. We will not get our first injury report of the week until tomorrow, and then we get into a normal game week scenario ahead of Sunday. But John Harbaugh was asked about Jaziah Alexander, and this is a reminder that we are now into the regular season, and regular season rules apply.
Week, yeah, that would be the key. So we'll see where he's at Wednesday. He did some things today, so that's kind of how it works. But in terms of just injury updates, probably not going to get much out of me, at this point, unless it's an obvious one, unless we know what's going to, if a guy's going to play or he's not going to play. You might get a little more on Friday, just because you'll know who hasn't practiced. They haven't practiced. They're unlikely to play, unless they've been playing all the way up to that point. Then maybe they'll play. So I probably won't tell you for sure, unless I feel like it's obvious that everybody knows already. So that's where we're at with that. How's that? Does that make sense?
John,
Yeah.
John, did you mention Jair did something out? Was he doing something out?
He was working. No, he was working today on physical stuff. Yeah, he's moving. He's moving.
So there you go. This is the update from John Harbaugh. Part of that, as to be expected, you're just not going to get forthright answers from John Harbaugh about injuries moving forward. That's the way it's going to go. The guys out there will still ask, because that's the biggest thing you can cover when you have to go out. It's the only thing, frankly, you can cover when you go out to practice, is who's there and who isn't. So these guys will still ask the questions. John Harbaugh will obfuscate moving forward. That's part of the business. That's not surprising. Bo Smolka, our PressBox Ravens beat writer, had tweeted yesterday, not seen at the media viewing of Ravens practice on Monday, Isaiah Likely with the foot, Jair Alexander with the knee, and also Patrick Ricard, oddly. He then followed up by saying Alexander has been sidelined for 3 weeks. Seems unlikely he could ramp up and play in 6 days. And that's... It's an interesting take from Bo, because to some extent I know what he's saying, which is like, in season it's one thing, a guy plays on Sunday, doesn't practice on Wednesday and Thursday, but practices on Friday, then he's probably good to go for Sunday. And at some point this season, that'll be done almost purposefully by the Ravens with an injured or banged up player. Would you do that at the beginning of the season? Fair question. If Jair Alexander hadn't had any training camp, I think that probably Bo Smolka would be onto something here. Given the fact that he did practice and where he is in his career, I'm a bit more reluctant to buy into what Bo's saying. I understand the theory, but I do think that if Jair Alexander were to practice on Wednesday or Thursday, or honestly, maybe even on Friday, I think the Ravens would be inclined to let him go. Would he be on a pitch count? Perhaps. But I think they'd be inclined to let him play. He's a veteran. This isn't a young player that you're worried about whether or not he can learn a new defense. This is someone who's done a lot of things. It's also a reminder this is kind of part of the story with Jair Alexander. Like, this is, for as excited as we were about having him, this is why he's here, because you've been dealing with this type of stuff, and at some point the Packers decided it was no longer worth it to them. So can't be stunned by it. We'll continue to monitor it as the week goes by. It's always seemed unlikely that this would be the week for Isaiah Likely.
Is there any reason, since it's the Bills this week and they have how many receivers on their roster?
I mean, they do legally have receivers. Yeah. They do have players that play. What you're saying is that you think the Ravens purposely don't feel as though the matchups are so daunting that they need Jair Alexander. I don't think that will factor in whatsoever. They're facing Josh Allen. If Jair Alexander can play, Jair Alexander plays. There will be no thought to. Now, again, that's a complicated – I say this all the time. Like, we always get cute with this stuff, like, oh, you want to hold them out till next week. Next week's more – if these guys can play, they play. Unless, again, you've clinched something, the game really doesn't matter, then that's a different conversation. But if these guys can play, they play. It's just a question of what that means. And Bo's point is that it's more complicated than just, can he get on the practice field? It's that he hasn't been out there for 4 weeks. Can he be ramped up to being game ready? And I don't know the answer to that question. Remains to be seen in the coming days. And then, as Griffin referenced, Monday Night Football, a barn burner in Chapel Hill. God, can you pull up the balloons? Can you pull up the scene? Are you aware of? These are the things I don't think about. I think about what I want Griffin to grab, and then I start talking about something else, and I'm like, oh, right, that. North Carolina went all out for Bill Belichick's first game, including the dais for his post-game press conference. And their tweets started coming out from like North Carolina beat writers in the second half. Like, the most amazing part about this is that this is what he has to. That is what he's going to stand in front of as he has to answer questions about getting his ass beat. And so for those that haven't seen it yet, after North Carolina lost 48-14 in Bill Belichick's debut, there's the post-game press conference podium for Bill. First of all, for Bill Belichick. Everything, every layer of this.
I thought he was going to come out with champagne, I guess. Like,
oh, my
even
God,
if they had won,
man.
like if they had
right?
won, just...
For Bill Belichick, which screams his paramour, his girlfriend, wife, fiance, whatever the F she is. It screams her involvement, right? Because, like, even if she wasn't the one who had the idea, you would think that in any normal world, Bill Belichick would say, the hell I am. Like, the hell I'm doing that. And yet, the word is that, yeah, I know. A lot of people brought that up. Max Johnson, who, of course, it was an interesting story if you did turn on the broadcast. Max Johnson, who's Brad Johnson's son, I was not aware of the story, that he nearly lost his leg in their season opener last year in the game against Minnesota. Like, legitimately, there was, like the Alex Smith thing, they thought they might have to amputate his leg because of an injury. Fought back, came in as the backup last night, ended up throwing a touchdown to his brother after the game was well out of hand. Neat.
That's why you hired Bill Belichick.
Yeah. All that being said, just a pathetic. Look, man, this is the first year for a coach at a Moribund program, right? Like, I'm not sure what the expectation was. This, to me, was the easiest pick of the week in our picks because why is this number so small? North Carolina stinks. Like, Bill Belichick can only fix so much. I think the real question is, like, did Bill Belichick know this was a Fire Fest like a month ago, and he's just like, his girlfriend needs a job, his son needs a job, like the hangers-on need jobs, the Michael Lombardis of the world, so he's just like, whatever, I'll just suffer through. Like, I that's the part that's fascinating to me. Is like, did he know? Did he know going into this, like, this is going to be an embarrassment, but just wants to take care of the people in his life and give them employment?
What should I say to my buddy who bet? So like back in like December when he was hired, took the over 6.5 for.
I mean, the ACC's not great, so like
they looked good over the weekend.
They did. That's a good point. Certainly, I don't know.
Well, outside I guess the favorite.
Yeah, I don't. Right. Well, I mean, they look good for a little while. Yeah. Their offensive line didn't look good. Clemson. I don't know enough about Carolina's schedule to know, like, if they have Miami, if they have Florida State. I don't know enough. Who gives a rat's ass? And I'm not going to spend any more time on it. So it's what it is. No, you're not. Our first weekend of picks in the books, and everybody went 500 or better except for Paul Valley, who somehow went 1-5 in the first week of picks. Proctor and James Revere both went 5-1. Myself, Kyle Ottenheimer, Ryan Schell, and Joe Serpico all 4-2. Griffin, Andrew Stecca, John Little Rock, KZ, and Jeremy Kahn all went 3-3. So everybody's within 2 games of the top, except for Paul Valley, who begins the season in a 4-game deficit, which apparently is too much for John's computer to understand. Or to know what place he's in, because he's got...
that's how bad his picks were.
Yeah, that's how bad of a week it was for Paul Valley. For me, what a wonderful weekend of watching college football it was, other than last night, but that's okay. I watched the Orioles and I watched tennis, although the tennis matches were both kind of bloodbaths last night, too. Yeah, that one, man, what a disappointment. I was so excited about that yesterday. And look, I'm happy for Naomi Osaka, who's great, but just a bummer that it was pretty lopsided. That was a butt kicking. But yeah, Maryland, Malik Washington got off to a slow start, but ultimately looked very good. Navy pounded VMI. I was surprised by how I did not know how dominant LSU's front 7 was, including what was the guy, Harold Perkins? Is that his name? That guy, rock star. So Cade Klubnik was running for his life on Saturday night. I mean, it was very difficult. Texas Ohio State was kind of a bummer just because the game wasn't all that good, but you know, the Arch Manning thing, maybe slow down that old hype train. And Notre Dame Miami was very good on Sunday night. I didn't get to watch the whole thing because I had to go to bed to wake up at 4 a.m. That was a bummer, so I missed the entire Miami comeback in the fourth quarter. But
or when Notre Dame came back and then Miami held on. That's what it was.
That's what I meant to say. Yeah, sorry, the whole thing. But entertaining first weekend of college football, and obviously the Lee Corso stuff on Saturday was just. I went hiking with my boys on Saturday, and I guess when I say my boys, it's not my friends. I mean my sons. I went hiking with my sons and my wife, actually.
No, we all get it. You're old. Yeah.
On Saturday.
You don't have boys anymore. You have boys.
Yeah, right, correct. That's exactly right. And we got to the top, and I was like, hey, we can't go back down yet. And they said, why? And I said, because I'm afraid I'm going to lose cell phone service, and I need to watch this. So my sons were trying to figure out why I cared so much about watching humans pick football games and the band playing the national anthem and all that stuff. I was like, look, man, just deal with it. Deal with it. It was well done. Very well done. And apparently Lee Corso, perfect weekend of picks. He got all 7 games correct in his final week of picks. Also, every team that he had been associated with in his coaching career. Maryland, Navy, Florida State, Louisville, Indiana, and Northern Illinois. Is that the I don't remember who the last one was.
I don't remember who the last
all victorious this weekend as well. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right, we are into week 1. That means we need to set fantasy football lineups, although 3 of my leagues are all drafting tonight, which is a very weird bit. I don't know what's going on there. Joining us now to help us get ready for week 1, he is our PressBox fantasy football analyst. He'll be joining us every Tuesday all season long. Joe Serpico, good morning, sir. How are you?
Gentlemen, good talking to you guys. Hope you enjoyed your Labor Day weekend.
I did. Let me just say this generically. Who did we draft early this weekend? I'll give you a name that I know that I grabbed. R.J. Harvey, to me, would be one example. Of the guys that we drafted because we have confidence in what they're going to be, who are we starting in week 1, and who do we have to wait on to make sure their role is what we expect before we do that?
To be honest, I think that's kind of a perfect segue where you said R.J. Harvey, because I'm not relying on him in week 1. To be honest, there's very few rookies that I'm actually willing to rely on in week 1. I think there's 3 that I'm willing to put in my starting lineup. That'd be the obvious being Genty, Amari and Hampton, and I think the third one that I really think you could start is
Ted McMillan.
Buka.
Oh, okay.
No, not even Ted McMillan.
Right.
Actually, my reasoning for Ted McMillan is so I don't know if everybody remembers last year, all the rookies, there was a lot of hype, one of them being Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison went sometimes as early as round 2 last year, and week 1 he laid an absolute dud, 1 reception for 4 yards. That seems to be a case a lot of times with rookie wide receivers. It takes them a little bit to get out the gate, and especially in Ted's case, he is the number 1 for Carolina, and let's face it, Carolina, we still got to see where they're going to go with that there. So as regards to Harvey, I do think he's going to have a role down the line. But even the Broncos have kind of said that this is going to be Dobbins out the gate with Harvey kind of mixed in. So I've seen a lot of leagues where Dobbins is not even drafted, which blows my mind when you know you got basically a starting running back for at least probably the first couple weeks, and then they'll start to mix Harvey in. So like I said, there's only a handful of rookies that I'm willing to kind of start in week 1, and then week 1 is kind of where you kind of see where things kind of go from there.
All right, what about some of the places where we're not exactly sure what the backfield looks like? Like, for example, Houston or maybe Cleveland or, some of those spots.
The Houston backfield, you're definitely not starting anybody this week because nobody knows what's going to go on there. So if you're like somebody who has Nick Chubb, I don't feel confident starting this week. I don't feel confident with Damian Pierce or Woody Marks. The guy that I've been kind of taking very late is Marks, just to kind of see how things work out. And it's, again, kind of what I said before. That's going to be one of those situations. We just need to see what happens in week 1. Same goes with Cleveland. I think Cleveland has a little bit more clarity to it than Houston does. Jerome Ford is going to be the lead back for them out of the gate. Dylan Sampson, I know I talked about a lot last week, is one of those guys I really like, who's going to get that third-round role. But even he kind of worries me to start so early on. He's somebody you can get with your last pick. So who's starting one of those guys, you're picking up with your last pick. So, yeah, both of those situations I'm avoiding out of week 1. Now, we might find out after week 1, those are the 2 teams where we are spending the most fab on, because usually it's after week 1 where you want to spend the majority of your fab because we kind of see how things played out. So let's say Jerome Ford is not the guy, and they do decide to go with Sampson right out of the gate, then we know that we pick up Sampson next week and you're spending a good amount of fab to grab him.
Anywhere else, any of those other backfield situations where, like, I know maybe Washington, like anywhere else where you're looking and saying avoid or definitively start this guy despite the fact that maybe there's not full clarity?
I'm not starting anybody for the Cowboys this week. I don't want anything to do with, and that's just because, one, they're going against the Eagles front, but two, that's a whole other situation that doesn't really have any clarity to it as well. You mentioned Washington. I'm willing to start Eckler in week 1. I know there was a lot of hype about Bill, but I'm a little bit hesitant to start him in week 1 too, just because Chris Rodriguez is still in the fold. I could see it being a 3-headed monster to start the year, and then maybe they'll bring it down to 2 as we go along. But, yeah, both of those backfields in the NFC East I'm kind of avoiding in week 1, other than Eckler, because you know what Eckler's role is going to be. But other than that, yeah, those are another 2 situations that I'm definitely trying to avoid.
I'm just realizing that you said that you're kind of contradicting yourself, because in your PressBox piece, you have Dylan Sampson as a potential sleeper for week 1. So are you playing him or not?
So that's the thing. I like his role. Like, for DFS, I like him. You know, I think he could have a role for in DFS purposes, probably going to be in my DFS piece that'll be out on Thursday. As far as literally starting him as my starting running back, I hope you've drafted other guys that you do not need to put him as your starter in week 1.
Okay.
He's one of those guys. I mean, you're absolutely desperate if you're truly starting him in week 1. And kind of like we talked about last week, there hasn't been really a whole lot of injuries to the running back position. So I would hope you had drafted somebody in, let's say, the first 6 rounds that you could start at both of those positions. And then maybe Samson's a flex in your super deep leagues.
How many Packers wide receivers are startable right now?
Maybe 1. And I don't even know if I'm starting him in week 1. I just talked about how I'm not too confident about rookies in week 1. So the only one that, going into the year, I know who's going to have a significant role is going to be Matthew Golden, the rookie. Other than that, who knows? Everybody's on that team is banged up. To be honest, the receiver, and I'm not even going to call it receiver, the player that I want out of that passing role the most, at least for week 1, is actually the tight end, Tucker Kraft. We know his role set. We know he's going to be the number 1. He's going to kind of get a decent amount of looks. As opposed to the receivers, we might see all 3-4 guys, and that's always been the problem with the Packers the past couple of years. It's never been a guy. It's just a mix of a bunch of guys, and it is very frustrating for fantasy managers.
It is very frustrating, isn't it? That's why I just stay away from all of them, despite the fact that
I just avoided all of them this offseason as well. I don't think I have a Packer on any of, maybe a couple DFS leagues, but other than that, I haven't touched any Packers as well.
All right. Anywhere else that you have your eye on going into week? I know you continue to be bullish about Ricky Pearsall in San Francisco. Anything else that, these situations, guys, that you say definitely start this guy, definitely don't start this guy?
You put me on the spot there. I kind of alluded to him earlier. It's Emeka Egbuka. I do think he's the one rookie receiver who has an opportunity to shine right away. And that's more – it's because of the opposite of what I was saying about Tet. Tet's the number 1. That's not the situation in Tampa Bay. They still got Mike Evans there, so Mike Evans is still going to be, the main focus on the defense, which should open up a lot of looks for Egbuka. And then on top of that, with the injury to Chris Godwin, the injury to Jalen McMillan, I couldn't even tell you who the third receiver is for the Buccaneers right now. So I do think Egbuka he was declared the most pro-ready receiver coming out of the drafts, and he had a terrific preseason. So I do think of all the rookie receivers, and then, again, that was a little bit of a cloudy situation. Do you want to start Egbuka with all the injuries down there? Absolutely. I do think that the Buccaneers come out swinging out of the gate, and I do think that Egbuka is one of those guys that is the few rookie receivers that you can start. I think I have him in my rankings right at wide receiver 24 for this week, so right at the wide receiver 2 range there.
And he wasn't one of the rookie running backs. I don't think you mentioned Caleb Johnson. Then in Pittsburgh, you're trying to stay away from him this week as well. I have a guy like J.K. Dobbins. Would you lean Dobbins over Johnson?
Absolutely, and I think, to be honest, because I was big on Caleb Johnson this summer, big time. I drafted him early in, let's say, dynasty leagues and a couple other leagues as well. But at least for week 1, I do think he's another one of those guys that's going to be eased in. I was not happy to hear about a Jalen Warren contract extension. It was yesterday. That kind of throws a little bit of a curveball on things too. But I do think ultimately give him let's say 2, 3, 4 weeks. He's going to be a guy that's going to have a huge role for them moving forward. Kind of like we've seen every year when it comes to rookie running backs. Some of them, you're going to have to wait a little bit. But let's say the second half of the year, these are guys you want. You mentioned R.J. Harvey earlier, Glenn. Now you're asking about Caleb Johnson. Same thing. I think both of those guys are 2 guys for right now you're stashing. Later on this year, you're going to be thankful that you actually did stash them. And those are guys that let me stress, if they do not have roles out the gate, let's say they only have, 5-10 carries out the gate, do not drop those guys. There are other guys you might be willing to drop, but those two rookies I'm holding on to and seeing how things play out later on down the season.
All right, if I'm not flexing R.J. Harvey, then am I flexing Rome Odunze, Keon Coleman, or Dylan Sampson? And does it matter that Josh Allen is my quarterback as I make that decision?
Well, that all depends on how you feel about Josh Allen against the Ravens on Sunday. My guy there would be, I think we talked about it last week, is Rome Odunze. I'm very big on him this year. So if those are my options, I'm definitely going to Dunzier there over Keon Coleman and Sampson.
All right.
And then in our draft tonight, the tight end premium league. So does that mean Bowers is going 1 overall, or how do we?
It means this thing is a sham, and don't
okay.
bother participating. Just let the computer do it. Jesus, this is embarrassing.
I don't know how you're going to do 3 drafts when we got this wackiness going on here.
I don't care is the answer. I just don't care.
I thought we were
about
doing a
this
$50 buy-in.
No. If we were, we'd have a different conversation. We're going to not do this nonsense, cockamamie, bogus. I have words that I want to say, and I'm not going to say them. At Joe Serpico, how you follow him. PressBoxOnline.com is where you see his stuff. Joe Serpico, we will talk to you next Tuesday. Good luck this week, my friend.
We finally made it, guys. Good luck this week.
Thanks, buddy. Joe Serpico, PressBox fantasy football analyst. He'll be with us every Tuesday morning. Today's show also brought to you by the Maryland 5-Star. Tickets on sale right now for the 2025 Maryland 5-Star. Maryland 5-Star with the number 5.us. Get your tickets today. Mike Clay from ESPN says the Ravens are finally doing it. He has them winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, go ahead. Print the banner. Let's get it done. We'll talk to him about why next. GCR. Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantopoulos family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
Get ready, Baltimore. On Saturday, September 6th, the world's top pro cyclists return for the Maryland Cycling Classic, America's top pro road race. Cheer on elite men's and women's teams from around the globe as they battle it out on a brand new circuit through Charm City. Enjoy a free festival, fan zones, and all the action at Harbor Point and the Inner Harbor. Watch live on Maryland Public TV or join the live stream at marylandcyclingclassic.us. Don't miss the speed, the strategy, the spectacle. The Maryland Cycling Classic, September 6th in Baltimore.
Game day gets even better at Live Casino. Score a live jersey on September 6th and bucket hat on September 27th. Plus, catch our big plays, big pays hot seats on select game days. When the home team scores, the prize pool doubles. And we'll give away a $50 sports and social gift card with every touchdown. Take it to the end zone at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Tuesday edition of the program. And I was checking out ESPN.com where our next guest put up a lengthy preview of the 2025 NFL season in which he not only has the Baltimore Ravens number one in his power rankings, but he also has them beating the Lions in the Super Bowl. Joining us now, he is ESPN NFL writer Mike Clay, and he is with us on GCR. Mike, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Yeah, of course. Glad to be here. And, I do a lot of these shows, and oftentimes it's not the team I predict to win the Super Bowl. So it's not usually a super positive conversation all the time. The fans don't always love it. So this certainly the pleasure's all mine.
Yeah, we don't hate you today, which is not.
You're the only fan base.
Right, correct. Everybody else like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Sure. Mike, knowing your background in the work that you do, analytics and prognosticating, how much do you ignore like the Ravens' past playoff failures? Because I feel like that's what we're dealing with in Baltimore is, yeah, we think the Ravens, if weighted for quarterback, probably have the best team in the NFL. But there's the other side of it, which is this keeps happening despite the fact that they've had really good teams in other years. Does that not matter to you at all, or do you just think like it's a law of averages that at some point they're going to figure it out in the postseason?
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me at all. I mean, it never happens until it finally happens, right? As someone who grew up in Pennsylvania and was born and raised an Eagles fan, I know that all too well.
Yeah.
The Eagles, they can't win the Super Bowl. They're never going to win the Super Bowl. They can get close all those years, and now they've won, 2 of the last 5 or 6, whatever it is now. So, it just takes, a little bit of, good fortune, whether it's health or catching the right matchup or whatever it may be, peaking at the right time for some of the key players on the team, and then it happens for you, much like it happened for Philadelphia last year. So, the way I evaluate is this is, it's coaching, obviously, it's the team on paper, it's the schedule, the competition, obviously. And then you kind of just evaluate each team 1 to 32. And as far as I'm concerned, the Ravens have the best team on paper, especially when you combine it with coaching here in 2025. They're in a really good spot.
So you have the Ravens as for your defensive units at 5th in the NFL. You have them as the number 1 offense. I want to talk about a couple of areas that if we really break down like a weakness, you bring up edge rush, you only have them graded as a 5. I wonder, because I keep saying to myself, and I don't want to put everything on this young man. He's a rookie. He's a second-round draft pick. But, boy, it feels to me like from a pure football standpoint, the biggest X factor on this team is Mike Green, because it's the thing for as much as they've been able to generate a rush in the regular season, they just have not had an ass kicker, a winner that can go make the biggest plays when everything's on the line, and it feels like maybe he has the talent to be perhaps that difference maker?
Yeah, it's, your team's built well when even, what might be the weakest spot on the roster is you have a second-round investment there, a guy that could be a difference maker right away, not to mention, the starters at the position led by, Kyle Van Noy. And that's kind of something – I should point out here, though they're ranked, graded a 5 out of a 10, it's all relative to the rest of the league. Edge rusher is an extremely strong position across the NFL. So it's kind of hard to stack up unless you're really good. Oftentimes you need 2 really good players to be graded super high at that position. So, again, that is the spot I have graded worse for them, but it's not even bad. Like, they have a solid situation there, and you're right. If Mike Green is the real deal, this could prove a strength pretty quickly.
You reference, the grading, and the offensive line grade was not tremendous for the Ravens either. It's just a 7. I wonder because, look, I think there's concern here about Daniel Faalele in his second year as the starting right guard and then turning things over to Andrew Voorhees. I also just wonder if it's sort of complicated by but they have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, and so even if you don't have a perfect offensive line in front of you, you've got some pretty good anchors at left tackle and center and right tackle. Roger Rosengarten was good. that like what you have is plenty good enough given what you're working with otherwise.
Yeah, again, roster construction here. Knowing which positions are most important, where you want to invest in is so important in the NFL. And if you're going to be, quote unquote, weaker at a position on the offensive line, you certainly want it to be guard. The tackles are very important. Center's an important one as well. But, having that protection on the outside, whether it's runs out wide or whether it's protecting Lamar Jackson, which is obviously paramount for this offense, having Rosengarten and Stanley out there is massive. So I do view the offensive line as a strength. 7 out of 10, like you said, that's a pretty good grade relative to the NFL.
That's
no
fair.
one's going to be perfect. So I think they're in a really good spot, and I definitely value tackle more than I do the interior offensive line. So that's why they show pretty well there.
Obviously, they need to stay healthy, and it feels like, Mike, that's sort of the story of the entire Ravens team, right? Like even if certain things go wrong, if you have a healthy Lamar Jackson and a healthy Derrick Henry, there's sort of a floor to what it can be. The story of this is, do you keep those guys healthy? If you do, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape to have a chance in January.
No doubt about it. I don't mean to sound snarky, but that really does apply to every team. I mean, that is probably the variable that we don't consider enough, and it's why there's so much chaos in the NFL, why surprising teams make the playoffs, why teams miss the playoffs, why Detroit could be the best team in the NFL for half the season last year and then get absolutely blown out in the playoffs because their entire defense was on IR. Like, it's such an important thing, and the teams that tend to carry on and make it to the Super Bowl oftentimes were very fortunate in the injury category. So, you're right. There's a lot of talent here, so as long as they don't have any key injuries to guys like Lamar Jackson especially, they're going to be in a really good spot.
He is Mike Clay from ESPN. He's with us on GCR. We've linked up his preview piece on our Twitter account, @GlennClarkRadio, for to check it out there. Mike, I feel like I'm being too dismissive of the division. Like, I've done these around the country, and everybody's asked me my thoughts, and it is really hard for me to buy. And to your point, chaos can happen related to injury, but short of that, it's hard for me to. I have great respect for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, but I have watched the Bengals defense enough when they've had all of their pieces that I can't buy it as them being a real threat because of it. And I don't even know that the Steelers are a good football team anymore. I think they're going to win 9 games because Mike Tomlin is just a genius, but I just don't even know that they're a good football team at this point. Am I too dismissive of the rest of the division?
No, I don't. I think you're right on track. I have the Ravens projected with a plus 114 scoring differential this year. The next closest in the division is the Bengals plus 10. The Steelers right there plus 6. And then obviously the Browns way off the reservation. So
right.
I'm with you. I have a big gap between 1 and 2 in that division. One of the biggest gaps I have in terms of win total projection. So I think the Ravens should take this comfortably. I think the way that changes is if the Bengals get competent defense and the offense plays like it did last year and they can hang in there, or if Aaron Rodgers somehow turns it around. I'm not super confident in him because last year's Jets team was absolutely stacked on paper and they were underachieved. So I don't know how it's going to be much different in Pittsburgh. They have an elite defense, obviously. You could say better coaching could be a key variable for them to get them over the top, but I really do think the Ravens are clearly the best team in that division.
Who is the team anywhere in the NFL that's the most difficult for you to figure out at this point, Mike?
The trickiest team in the league?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely a couple ways to go. I think that Washington, in the NFC East is probably one that pops out just because, Jaden Daniels looks to be the real deal. They added some help for him on offense, and this is a team that went to the NFC Championship last year. But on the other hand, the defense on paper wasn't really addressed. That's a big question mark for me.
Sure.
So it comes down to if Quinn can coach them up, or is this going to be like a letdown year like the Bengals where they end up going 9-8 or 8-9 and missing a wild card because the defense struggles so much. So I think them, and then I think you could also throw in anyone in the NFC North because that should be the most competitive division in the NFL. Maybe the AFC West, but the NFC North especially after Micah Parsons joining the fun the other day. That is going to be super fun to watch this season.
It's so funny. I really want to buy into the Bears. Like I'm drunk like everybody else is on Ben Johnson and the talent they have. But then I find myself saying, right, but like, how do they break through? How do they possibly break through in all of that?
That's exactly right. I actually was filing this piece minutes before that trade happened, and I had the Bears taking a wild card. I had them third in that division, Detroit, Minnesota, and then Chicago. And then after reevaluating a bit for Parsons, the Packers jumped the Bears and made it, and the Bears missed out on the playoffs. So,
right.
The odds, they're not going to send 4 teams to the playoffs, so someone is going to have to miss out, maybe 2, because that division is such a tough schedule this year as well. So you're right. It's a tricky division to evaluate.
And then the one other I wanted to run by you, like a lot are bullish about the Broncos. Are they like an actual threat to the Chiefs at this point in the AFC West, or are we getting ahead of ourselves?
I absolutely think they're a threat. I have the Chiefs projected at 10.1 wins. I have Denver at 9.9. It's basically a toss-up. The Broncos did a nice job continuing to add pieces around Bo Nix. You would expect him, after one of the best rookie seasons ever. I mean, it doesn't get the attention because of Jaden Daniels, but Bo Nix had one of the best rookie quarterback seasons of all time. You would expect him to be better in year 2. He is a better supporting cast with guys like R.J. Harvey and Evan Ingram there. The offensive line was first in pass block and run block win rate last year. They're still together here in 2025. The defense is probably a top 5 unit on paper. They added pieces on that side as well. This is a very complete football team with very good coaching, and they are an excellent, sneaky sleeper team this season. So, I will be surprised if they're not a legit team this year. They have it all in place. I think the thing that would, injuries aside, the thing that would cost them would be if Bo Nix has a sophomore
regression.
Of some
Yeah.
sort. It doesn't live up to what he did last season.
I know everything you're saying is correct. I still find myself saying, right, but that's Pat Mahomes, and I've doubted that guy before. And I'm just like...
You know what, though? That was the analysis all the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl.
That's true.
That's all I heard about. The Eagles, everyone kind of agreed the Eagles are better, but Patrick Mahomes. And it's like, you know what? Forget about that for a second, and let's just look at the actual talent here. Let's look at how Mahomes is playing versus Jalen Hurts. Let's look at the 2 rosters. Which team is the better team here?
Yeah.
And obviously that's why the Eagles, to me, were the easy pick, and I think that should be applied this season as well. Perhaps Mahomes bounces back and they put it all together, but at the end of the day, Denver has a terrific team, and probably, if you put quarterback aside, probably the better team on paper. So no doubt about it. I think that division is a toss-up.
All right. You can find it again. We've linked it up at Glenn Clark Radio, or go to ESPN.com to see his big preview. And you can follow him at Mike Clay NFL as well. Mike, is there anything else that we can plug for you, man?
That's it for right now. The fantasy content's going to be rolling in this week now. This week 1 is just days away. But, content throughout the season. We'll be busy, me and the team over at ESPN.com. And, of course, fantasy football now at 10 to 1. a.m. Eastern on Sunday all season long.
Excellent. Mike Clay, really appreciate you taking the time for us this morning, man. Thanks so much for doing this, and let's talk again real soon, all right?
Sounds good. You got it, guys. Take care.
Mike Clay with us from ESPN. Thorough breakdown in his preview. It was very compelling. I have my first power rankings of the season up, and I would say the Broncos are like among the teams that I was really struggling with. Like, where do you put them? Do you want to guess my... You want to go top 5?
Your power rankings?
Yes.
For,
Don't pull them up.
No.
Oh, you're fixing the screen. I see now. All right, got it.
Where you have the Broncos or who?
No,
who
where
your
you,
top 5
give
are?
me. Where do you think my top 5 is?
Ravens 1.
Ravens are not 1.
Well, then you're wrong. Then this whole list is a sham. Then
Okay.
I don't even want to participate. The Ravens are 2.
Yes.
So the Eagles are 1.
The Eagles are 1.
I know you're an Eagles fan at heart.
Yes, you know me.
The
Eagles are 1.
Eagles,
Ravens 2.
Ravens, Bills.
Not Bills.
Chiefs?
Yeah.
Mahomes?
Yeah. I mean, I just can't. Like, I know exactly what he's saying, and we're all saying the same thing when we look at the Chiefs. But
Eagles, you love the Super Bowl, didn't you? You weren't going to lose.
Yeah,
you're
that's
a Chiefs
right.
Eagles
You know me.
Chiefs.
Like, you want me to the 15 that went 15-2 last year? You want me to say like, no, they can't stop? I'm not. I know exactly what Mike Clay's saying, and Mike Clay, again, because he's a fantasy analyst, because he is a data person. I'm not fighting with anything he says. It's just, for me, I'm always going to default back to the, yeah, but they do it a lot. So Chiefs 3.
So Bills 4.
Bills 4.
And then 5, I guess you would have the not an NFC team.
I'm not. Just name a team for God's
Broncos.
sakes. Not the Broncos. The Broncos. I thought I was bullish about. I had them 10th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go Commanders.
No, Commanders 7th.
Lions
5th.
Okay.
Lions 5th. Packers 6th. Commanders 7th. Bengals 8th. And so that's another area where I feel like I default a little bit too much to what they did last year, and I weigh that a little bit more.
And it's like, can they? It's like, what did they improve?
Oh, the crazy thing about the Commanders is like you find yourself saying, So I did a like and a dislike for every team, and my dislike for the Commanders was Bobby Wagner is 35, Von Miller is 36, Deebo Samuel is spiritually 42. Like they're an old. That was the part about everybody screaming about paying Terry McLaurin. Is like, well, what if you have to pay? Like you have old guys littering this roster. Laramie Tunsil is on the younger side of their impact players. Like there's a lot of old in what they're counting on. Zach Ertz, like.
Yeah, but they got Jaden Daniels.
They do have Jaden Daniels.
And Terry.
That's the like. The
and
biggest
Bill.
like
and
is
Bill,
and
really.
Bill, right?
You conveniently leave him out.
Bill BCM, I guess is what they're going with now moving forward. But yeah, my first power rankings of the year are up.
I meant the Bengals. Just like, what did they improve?
What did the Bengals improve?
Yeah.
I mean, the Bengals were. You might remember they were winning all of their games down the stretch. The Bengals are reminding you that they are capable of doing. Wait, that's the reason. The Bengals are reminded you that what they're capable of.
I mean, I guess you're right.
Is winning in spite of their defense. Like no, the Bengals are there not because I think their defense is good or that they could. I think it's going to be their undoing, but I don't think it's going to be their undoing to go 7-10. I think it's going to be the separator as to why they can't win in the playoffs because ultimately I don't think they have a good enough defense. But they're going to win games just by scoring 100 points. Like that's going to happen. Not 100, but you know what I mean. They're going to because they can. They're that good. But, yeah, the defense, it is what it is. I couldn't figure out what to do with the I couldn't figure out at all what to do with the 49ers. Like, they can't be as bad as they were last year. Like, they can't be.
What was their record last year?
6-11.
Yeesh, what?
They can't. They can't be that bad. But also, like, what's to like?
They've got Christian McCaffrey
right now, but
age,
when he's hurt
whatever.
again in
that's
3
why they
weeks.
got Brian Robinson.
Right. They have Brian Robinson.
Like
it's a very difficult conversation about the 49ers. Like
they should have Pearsall and Ayuk on the field at some point together.
Well,
and Kittle.
Maybe. I mean, if Pearsall stays healthy till whenever Ayuk gets back. I definitely, in the only draft I did this week, I definitely took a late round flyer on Ayuk, like just IR stash. But like everything out of San Francisco is like, it could be anywhere from week 4 to he doesn't return at all. Like there is no, or week 5, I guess he's got to be out.
Where do you have the Texans at?
The Texans are
just because what you saying
14.
That week 4 to week
4,
you don't know. Well,
yeah.
Like maybe think of Mixon and what's going on there.
I don't know how they feel about him when he is healthy. I don't know what they think their backfield is.
Well,
I also
Nick Chubb.
They do have Nick Chubb, but they're not like committing to Nick Chubb in any way. They just have a bunch of backs. I also took a flyer on Woody Marks on
You have to.
Sunday, but I feel like I have nothing but flyers. Like I just look and say like, man, it's possible that none of these guys work out, and I'm screwed.
My friend in our draft on Sunday night, he took 6 rookies.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. I've eternally always been this guy because you get to a point in your draft where you're like, I know these other guys suck. Like, do I really want Rashid Shaheed on my team? Like, you can tell me that he has a role, but, like, that role is always on my bench. That's his role. So I'm looking for upside guys. And you end up doing that. That's exactly what you do. I don't think I have 6 rookies. I've only drafted one of my teams. My team is Josh Allen, Chase Brown, and Isaiah Pacheco, Justin Jefferson, and DJ Moore. I had the 5th pick, and I took Jefferson there. Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore, Evan Ingram. I'm flexing Roma Dunze because my bench is R.J. Harvey, Keon Coleman, Tank Bigsby, Woody Marks, Dylan Sampson, Caleb Williams, and Josh Palmer. It's mine.
I had the second pick. Everyone got mad at me. I took who would you have taken at the second?
I'm presuming that Jamar Chase went number 1.
Yes.
So at number 2, I would. Boy, I'd be torn between Saquon and Bijan.
I did not go running back.
You did not go running back. Yeah. Would you take Lamar? What did you do at 2?
I took CeeDee. I took CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah. Cowboys are going to be the Bengals of last year. Like, they're going to be throwing the ball 60 times a game. Their defense is not going to stop anyone.
Okay.
You disagree?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I could take him at 2. I think that's too much. Now, again, I felt it was tough for me to take Justin Jefferson at 5 because you're like, I don't know if this guy can play quarterback. I have no idea. But the argument is that
I didn't go with Jefferson.
The argument is that, well, if Sam Darnold could become what he became with Kevin O'Connell, then
J.J. McCarthy
definitely
handed
can.
the ball off.
In college, he did hand the ball off a lot. You're not wrong about that. All right, we'll come back in. We're going to meet Jaziah Harper, Maryland incoming freshman basketball player. Looking forward to that. Tidbit and Tubular on the way. It is a Tuesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1970. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
Game day gets even better at Live Casino. Score a live jersey on September 6th and bucket hat on September 27th. Plus, catch our big plays, big pays hot seats on select game days. When the home team scores, the prize pool doubles. And we'll give away a $50 sports and social gift card with every touchdown. Take it to the end zone at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking for Baltimore's premier waterfront dining experience? Head to Nick's Fish House. Enjoy crabs all year long, plus happy hour Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6. Planning a celebration? From rehearsal dinners to corporate crab feasts, Nick's is the spot to make it unforgettable. And the fun doesn't stop there. Live music fills the air every Thursday through Sunday. Check out the full lineup at nicksfishhouse.com. Nick's, it's where Baltimore comes to eat, drink, and play by the water.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of PressBox is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolko profiles Ravens running back Derrick Henry and how the football legend has proven to be a unicorn at the position with the success that he's found after the age of 30. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg looks at Kobe Mayo's push to find rhythm at the big league level. And we mark the start of the college football season by meeting players from all 4 FBS and FCS programs throughout the state. PressBox is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR. A couple of things. One, Stan the Fan, Charles, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson, usually on Mondays, but of course yesterday being the holiday, They have bumped their show back to today, and so you can catch them talking Orioles, talking baseball. Coming up this afternoon at 5:30, watch it live, facebook.com/PressBoxSports. If you miss it live, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. And as always, Stan's shows are brought to you by the Costas Inn and the all-new Costas Inn, now open in Timonium at the Grandstand. I know this is like the sneaky week that people try to go to the fair because like the crowds are maybe down a little bit with everybody back at school. So figure out a way, get to the fair, get to the Costas Inn, win-win all around. Love that. Check out Stan later today and check out the all-new Costas Inn at the Grandstand in Timonium. A couple of things. The Ravens earlier today announced they're calling it their flock-friendly fair with 11 items under $5, including a $5 barbecue chicken sandwich, $4.50 nachos, $3.50 hot dog, $2 pretzel, $3.50 French fries, $3.50 peanuts, $2.50 chips, $2 popcorn, $5 12-ounce beer, $4 24-ounce soda, and $3.50 20-ounce water. In general, like just, generically, this seems like a good thing. There are still questions to me about, like, some of the messaging here. Are all of these items available? It says select items available at more than 40 M&T Bank Stadium locations. So, like, are some of these things available at some spots and others available at other? That's where it gets a little bit complicated. And, like, are they actually rolling out, or are they just highlighting, hey, there's one place in the stadium where you can get this and one place in the stadium? I don't know. It seems good. I'm always for concessions being not reduced price, because certainly none of these things, these are still, you're paying more than you would pay outside a stadium for these items, but more fairly priced, more reasonably priced, and keeping in mind that you want families to feel like they can still come to your games. I know the NFL, it's not as important as, say, baseball, where the events are every night during the summer. I'd like to know more of the details about where the items are, where are they available, all that sort of stuff. I think that would be good in the messaging and the rollout of something like this. I think that would be helpful to guide people to, so they don't walk up on, it's not, obviously they're not playing at home this week, but the following week they don't go to their concession stand and say, well, I want the soda, and then somebody says, all right, great, that'll be $9, and you're like, well, what the hell? I thought I could get it for $4, and then they say, oh, that's only at some other place. Like, I think they could use a little more messaging about this. But in general, sure, good thing. And what the size of these things are, like how big is this $5 barbecue chicken sandwich? I'm going to guess not,
Or maybe it'll be huge.
Huge. I hope it's not a slider. I think it's going to be something between those things. It'd be good in messaging to include a little bit more of that so people have a bit more information. But in general, is it a good thing? Yeah, it's a good thing to have more affordable concession items. Like that part, no doubt, I will give you that. Lamar Jackson was named the number 2 player in the NFL in the league.
So stupid.
Voting of the top 100 players in the league. Saquon Barkley, fresh off leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl title, was voted number 1. Josh Allen, number 3. Jamar Chase, number 4. Mahomes, number 5.
I mean, that's also...
You're going to let him... Just going to let him get pissed off. Joe Burrow, 6. Derrick Henry, number 7 on the list.
Wow.
The first defensive player is Myles Garrett at number 8. Then Justin Jefferson, 9. Pat Surtain, number 10. So those are the top 10 on the NFL Top 100 list that they finished last night. And 4 Ravens made the top 100, as we mentioned. Jackson at number 2, Henry at number 7. Roquan Smith, after a disappointing season last year, by his standards, still managed to be number 40. Kyle Hamilton, number 51.
Just going to let him get pissed off.
On the list. There you go, right? That's exactly what that is. Jonas Schaefer pointed out that means that Marlon Humphrey was probably the biggest snub of a top 100. And... I don't know, maybe deserving of top 100. I don't care.
Because he's now pretty much a slot corner.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't. You can't get me. I'm sorry. You can't get me to care about this. I mean, like Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers had a hell of a season last year. Should Zay Flowers have been on this list?
Who was the 100th guy?
I don't know.
brought it up.
This is silly. Why are you trying to get me to engage with you? I just wanted to point it out and then move on from it immediately. We forgot to mention
That's not how the show works.
When we were talking about Malik Washington earlier, he was named Big Ten Freshman of the Week. So congratulations to him for that. I believe. Remind me the name of the Towson quarterback because he was named CAA Freshman of the Week. Indorf. Andrew Indorf.
Stud.
CAA Freshman of the Week. So
put some respect on Indorf's name.
Yeah, you didn't know it. You had to work through it. No, you had to work through it. You settled down.
We were working together.
So yeah, those were some awards given out. I did. I got there.
With my help.
Yeah, sort of. CountySports.zone. We are into the throes of high school sports season here in the fall. You can get every score, every schedule, every ranking by going to CountySports.zone, which is proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Buyatoyota.com.
Lad McConkey.
I think Zay Flowers isn't more deserving of Lad McConkey.
Leonard Williams, the DN from the Seahawks.
They're good football players.
Aaron Jones is 98.
They're good. They're good players.
Drake London. I mean, I've argued he maybe should be higher. Drake London's at 97.
You're not gonna get. You can't get me to get. You can't name anybody that I'm gonna care about or get worked up about. It's not something you're going to do. I understand the game you think you're playing.
There's 16. Should I have you name all 16? Should that be
okay? That can be tidbit today. That's fine. 16. 16 wide receivers in the NFL top 100. All right. Obviously, Chase.
Yeah.
Jefferson.
Just want to make sure you know. Yeah, Chase is 1. Jefferson is 2.
Lamb.
He is. I'm sure he's on the list, but he is not the next one.
That's fine, but is he on the list? That's the point.
Wow, he's like the 5th one.
Okay,
he's the 6th
fine.
one. Sorry, 6th receiver.
He took him number 2 overall.
Well, I mean, he's going to be the best fantasy receiver.
Okay.
So
Puka Nacua.
Taking him if he falls to 12 tonight. Let's see. Puka. Yep, Puka would be 7th.
Okay. AJ Brown.
AJ Brown is, unless he was ahead of those guys. Hold on. AJ Brown's 4th.
They still have Tyreek Hill ranked fairly highly. That's my guess.
Oh shoot!
Oh my! What are you doing?
I'm trying to.
I was going to guess Nico Collins. I assure you that was going to be one of my guesses.
Tyreek Hill is 9th. Yeah.
Okay. And Nico Collins.
Nico Collins is 5th.
Jesus. Amon-Ra.
Yeah, Amon-Ra's 3rd.
Wow. Okay. All right.
He is 20th overall. One behind Jalen Hurts and one ahead of Jaden Daniels.
Garrett Wilson.
Gary Wills. Let's see here.
I just would have thought because of the spectacular catches he made, he would have.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, he is not.
Wow. All right. I just thought the players would have given him some love. All right.
Checking here, but yeah, I don't see.
Okay. I mean, it's not stunning. I really just thought that because of those crazy catches. How about T. Higgins?
T. Higgins is on the list. T. Higgins is the 13th of the 16.
Okay. How about? This does get tricky now, doesn't it? Like, there's a bunch of guys that it could be, but who is it? How about? I'll go Ayuk.
No Ayuk.
Okay. Scary Terry.
Scary Terry is on the list. He is 10th. So you're missing.
We know Drake London's on the list because you gave that away earlier, right?
And the last guy as well.
Right, Lad McConkey.
So that's 15-16 there for you.
I'll say Cortland Sutton.
Cortland Sutton, I don't believe is on the list.
Okay. Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy is.
Okay.
Jeudy would be the 14th.
Mike Evans still hanging around.
Mike Evans is top 8.
Okay. How about Godwin?
Not Godwin. I just wanted to see where Evans was 44th overall.
So there's still 2
One ahead
more.
Of, Trent Williams.
Oh, Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas is on there. And he's 11th. So yeah, we're missing number 12.
Is that Malik Neighbors? Wow, that's high. That's a heck of a.
Your top 16
very good.
Wide receivers.
Very good. Tidbit was brought to you objectively.
You
exactly
can't
right. They're 100% definitive list. Tidbit was brought to you today by Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Going to be a big weekend of football viewing. No better place than Inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Starting on Thursday night, 100-foot media wall, great food, just steps away from the FanDuel Sportsbook. Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, the best place to watch all of the big events. Here's what's coming up totally tubular-wise tonight. Orioles do continue their series in San Diego. Tyler Wells makes his debut for the year as he's on the mound against Yu Darvish and the Padres. 9:40 on MASN 2. It'll also be on MLB Network nationally. Loyola Soccer's at Delaware tonight at 7 on something called the Summit League Network. Not familiar.
And Summit League?
What's that? Apparently, which is weird. I knew they had to move out of the CAA for football, and I guess but why wouldn't they join Conference USA in all sports? Does Conference USA not host all sports? Is that what I'm missing there? Is it like they don't have soccer in Conference USA or something? I don't know the answer. Whatever. Who cares? Anyway, and then the U.S. Open quarterfinals. The order today, the first one is Pegula Krejcikova, and then Carlos Alcaraz, Yuri Laheska.
This is
This is quarterfinals. And then tonight,
who's Alcaraz got?
Yuri Laheska.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's your guy, isn't
Yuri
it?
Laheska?
Yuri Laheska.
Is he Polish?
What is he? A Czech?
Okay,
I think Czech.
Czechoslovakian.
And then tonight, Sabalenka Vondrousova, and then the big one tonight is Djokovic Fritz. That's the last match. And this is the depressing part for tennis fans because you go like the first night.
Is Joker favored?
Yeah, I assume so. I can't imagine he's not. Oh, you want to throw a little on Fritz? Don't you lose enough money betting on American men's tennis players? But you get depressed because you've gone like this first week and a half of like having tennis, at all time, and then now it's just all on Arthur Ashe State. There's not concurrent matches. The rest of the U.S. Open, everything's
Fritz plus 150.
Okay, there you go. Griffin has spoken. That's the schedule.
Am I really gonna end up staying up until 2 a.m. watching this match?
There you go. All those matches on ESPN today. All right, non-sports, everything else sports-wise, go to GlennClarkRadio.com.
Big one. Season 10 finale, Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, man.
ABC, who you got?
I've got Djokovic.
Djokovic?
Yeah.
He's playing the U.S. Open and
they
Bachelor?
tape that.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Griffin,
true.
come on, man.
Big night for him.
Yeah.
All over the TV. There's not a whole season 20 finale of Hard Knocks, the Bills training camp. If anybody just wants to see who got cut, I guess is that what they do? I don't know. I don't know what they do.
I assume.
Episode here. And I guess not a whole lot. Fallon's back, so he's got a big smorgasbord of guests. Jessica Chastain, Paul Mescal, Josh O'Connor, and Sabrina Impacciatore.
I don't know who half of those people are. Don't know.
Sabrina Impacciatore is, or I think I'm pronouncing that right. She's in the Paper, that show that.
The Office
spinoff.
All right.
That show's coming out Friday. Josh O'Connor is he was the one friend in Challengers, one of the two tennis players in Challengers
that made out with each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was one that wasn't married to Zendaya.
Okay.
And he's in a movie called The Mastermind, and he's like an art robber.
How do they put all these people on one?
I don't know. I think because
they just do like a round table.
It's
very weird.
And Paul Mescal is in Hamnet, which is about Shakespeare, or he is Shakespeare in this movie called Hamnet, and it's about when he had his son, I think.
Sure.
Jessica Chastain is the Savant on Apple TV.
You got it. Whatever. It's all. You can find it all at GlennClarkRadio.
Denzel Washington and Brooks Nader on Kimmel.
Tubular brought to you. Oh, they're plugging the U.S. Open. Tubular brought to you by the print issue of PressBox. Derrick Henry's on the cover. Go pick it up for free right now at your neighborhood Royal Farms and the hundreds of locations around town where you find PressBox. Read it all. PressBoxOnline.com. Thanks today to Mike Clay from ESPN. Thanks to Joe Serpico and Jaziah Harper, who we're about to hear from. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the. You had 5 days. 5 days. To plan anything.
Is this the most important part of the show?
Anything.
I planned
any thought on it whatsoever. You have a 12-page manifesto of notes, and in there you didn't put think about the end of the show once.
Yeah,
one time.
End of the show. Who cares?
Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com.
Yeah, who cares, Tab?
God. Tomorrow, anything?
Oh
boy.
Would you rather Wednesday?
Okay. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners. Yeah, sure did. Including Game Day Men's Health, of course, County Sports Zone, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, the Costas Inn, Maryland 5-star, 1-800-GAMBLER, and helpmygamblingproblem.org. Nick's Fish House, as well as the Maryland Cycling Classic. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Tuesday evening. Go Birds, Duke sucks. We wrap up today's show by meeting one of the incoming Maryland basketball players, Jaziah Harper, with us now here on GCR. Well, it's a pleasure now to be joined here on GCR by a young man who's getting ready for his first season of college hoops at the University of Maryland. One of the actual high school recruits. We know there are a lot of transfers on this roster, but one of the true freshmen on the Maryland basketball roster. He is Jaziah Harper, and he is with us now here on GCR. Jaziah, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to meet you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's great to chat with you, dude. If we can go back a little ways, because I know it's probably been a whirlwind for you since you made this decision. It was a whirlwind around here when there was a coaching change. What did you know about Maryland? What did you know about Coach Buzz? And why, in the midst of a time of so much change, did you decide that Maryland was the place for you?
So they came at me pretty late on in my recruiting, about like the last month before I was gonna make a decision. I heard all the news and a lot going on, but most importantly, I figured out who the coach was, and I knew right off the bat, like Buzz, if I had the opportunity to play with him, I know I would advance or just grow tremendously. So that was ultimately easily the thing that made me make my decision. So and it's been, I've been going to work. He's been putting us to work. So
what made you know? How much did you know about Coach Buzz beforehand and his history? Or I remember talking to Darius Adams about this, and he was like, "Dude, all it took was one conversation," and that was my guy. What was it for you that made you connect like that with him?
I actually didn't know him at all. I was getting recruited by Coach Rockford.
Okay.
But the director of my program, the prep school I came out of, was good friends with the head coach. So based off of their friendship, they told me they've been buddies for 30 years.
Wow.
So I put all trust into my athletic director, and then just doing my own research, being able to play with him, I was like, oh yeah, I'm excited.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I know. I did a little bit of research on you on social media, and I know you post some inspirational, some religious type of stuff. And I know in talking to Darius in particular, like that was a big thing for him. And I think a lot of us know Coach Buzz's history and how that's always been a part of his program, his faith and things like that. Was that something that connected you with him and with the staff and maybe this team as well?
Everybody has their own journey and they're religious. So, I'm not really sure who anybody is, but I know I have my own path. So, my relationship with God is really powerful, and it's what drives me. But just knowing that there's other guys on the team, like I'm looking forward this weekend going to church with some of the guys. So
that's cool. That's very cool.
It's a great way to connect off and on the court for sure too.
Jaziah Harper is with us here on GCR, incoming Maryland basketball freshman. All right, so you got on campus over the summer, correct?
Yes, sir.
Who all were you able to connect with most, and what does maybe this look like? You guys, this is an entirely new team, right? Like a lot of times when you're the freshman, you're like walking in, it's guys that have been around. Nobody had been around at the University of Maryland. What's it been like for you gelling with these guys?
It's been pretty easy. I was able to connect with some guys like George and some of the guys from Texas A&M right away.
Okay.
And then I've just been asking a lot of questions because they've been with Buzz since last year. But overall, everybody. Right now we're all connected. Like we've done several activities, off and on the court. So everybody's really great. Even the coaching staff, I connect with a lot of the coaching staff really well. And yeah.
I feel like it's an easy question to ask where we say something like, isn't it going to be more difficult for you guys because everybody's coming from different places to gel and be cohesive on the court? But then a lot of people say, no, that's just basketball. Like once you get out there, you learn things about each other and you play. Do you feel like, the time that you've spent together this summer and now going into the fall, you guys are going to be able to have that cohesion on day one despite everybody kind of coming from different places in the world?
Yeah, for sure. When you get on the court, everybody has their own game. So it's just figuring out how we're going to tie it together, where people are stronger on the court. But yeah, we're all starting some heavy workouts. So we're all getting the conditioning going. So as far as the playing wise, we'll be fine.
I look at your profile, right, as a 6'7" wing, and I think to myself, like, okay, that guy's a star. Like, that guy is just a star moment one. How is it with the feeling each other out and feeling what everybody's role's going to be, and how you assert yourself as a freshman on this team?
I mean, I would see myself just spacing out the court. The athleticism there. I can shoot the ball, and then defensively, like, I think all of us are really gritty, and we play really, really tough on the defensive end. So, I mean, defense wins championships, but that's the thing that's important to us is the defense. So, I mean, everybody's really doing good.
What have you learned so far about Maryland? Like, you're not obviously you're not from here. You're kind of Midwest guy. What have you learned so far about Maryland, and how, like, did you know anything at all about the program, about the area before you decided to commit here? And what have your early impressions been?
I mean, I've never even been out here to the East Coast side at
Oh,
all.
wow. Wow.
So I'm getting used to all the crab pretzels.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Are you into them? Like,
I smashed a couple of them. There's a spot up the street. I'm not gonna lie, they were pretty good.
I love that.
But my first impressions is everything's great. I mean, we're all just getting on the same page. But like the first week we got here, we laid out our culture, and then also just like Maryland's culture, like learning about the school and everything, the area, the flag, like everything. So, I mean, my first impressions are great. I mean, I'm just keeping my head down and grinding and taking advantage of the connections that I have around me. So.
It's so funny that you say the flag, because like it really is a massive part of our culture. Like on any given day, most of us are wearing something that has the flag on it.
License plates.
Dude, it is so real. Are you down with it? Like, are you already getting your own flag gear? Like, where are you at with the Maryland flag at this point?
Nah, I mean, I respect it. I mean, hey, it looks pretty cool. So
it's a very cool flag. It's an objectively cool flag. Like, that's the reason like everybody's got a flag. We love it more because it's an objectively cool pattern.
Yeah, it looks nice on the baselines, the little license plate. I like it.
I dig that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that we can kind of get you to adopt it a little bit.
Yeah.
You mentioned some of the guys you connected with. Did you know any of these guys before, like, you got here in June? I think like Alex is from Illinois as well. Did you know any of these guys at all? Had you like run with them in any prep stuff, or was it really like that kind of a crazy, all right, man, first time meeting you, let's go?
I knew, I didn't really know much of Alex. We were in the same area. He was more in Chicago in the city. I was more in the west suburbs, but like the teams around there, we knew each other. And then Darius Adams, the prep school that I just came from, Bosco, we played La Lumiere a good handful of times. So yeah, we went at it, but it was nice.
Who got the better of it? Who got the better of it when you guys went at it?
I mean, La Lumiere, they were stacked. They have some really good talent. Bosco, we're kind of underdogs. We work, but La Lumiere, they were stacked. So I'll give that to them. But
did he remind you of that at all when?
Nah, Darius is cool. He's humble.
He really is. Cool. That's a great point. He is a really humble cat, man. Like, for someone that's got like all the hype that he has and has gotten all the attention that he has, he is such a down to earth dude. Like, very, very grounded, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Who has really maybe stepped up as like some of the lead? You mentioned the Texas A&M guys. I did wonder if that might be more of a role for them because of their history with Coach Buzz. Have you sensed that those guys have kind of been the ones to take on and say, all right, we'll be sort of the team leaders as everyone makes this transition in year one?
Yeah, I mean, they're handing out a lot of info to us based on like drills that we're about to get into, or like some things just to get prepared for. But I mean, other than those guys, I'd say Diggy, Miles, Eli, like our seniors, all of our seniors are great leaders around, even the juniors. So yeah, those guys are. I mean, we got a lot.
Do you get the feeling that like people are underestimating you guys because of all of the, we don't know these, they've never been on the floor together, and not recognizing maybe how much real talent you all have on this team?
I mean, to be honest, I don't even read or look at anything. I haven't even seen anything really.
Good for you, man.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. We're working, so I mean, we're spending time together on and off the court. I mean, those are like the main things. I mean, them trying to predict how good we're gonna be or any questions that they have, I'm not sure. I'll just leave it up for the season. I'm excited though.
I appreciate that, man. Good. I noticed, like, you know, I pulled up your Instagram and you only had like 3 posts. Like, you're not a big. That's not what you're all about. Is like being in that world, right?
Yeah, nah. I mean, I'm very, very blessed. I choose what I want to share with the world, but I mean, really, I just keep it with my family and coach. I keep everything that I need to keep inside. So
good for you.
I'm glad I don't have a lot of buzz.
Good for you, man. Good for you. I really respect that. What else are you in when you're not hooping? Let's get to know you a little bit. Whenever you're not on a basketball court, where might we find you? What might you be getting into? What is Jaziah Harper all about when you're not playing basketball?
I definitely do play video games.
What do you play?
The new 2K actually came out.
Right.
So I've been playing around with that. I mean, it's only been out for what, 3.5 hours. It comes out in a week, but I had pre-ordered it.
Oh,
so
look at you! Look at you!
But yeah, I'm just playing around. I don't know how good I'm gonna be yet.
Who do you play as when you play 2K?
I'm not gonna lie. I played my part. I just made my build, really 6'7", 7 foot wingspan. So I'm just playing around with it.
Okay, so now we all know the college football game came back not that long ago. Are you like trying to push to get the college basketball game back so that you can actually play as yourself in a game?
I think that would be crazy. I mean, college basketball, I kind of remember it like back early 2000s.
Yeah, it was a while ago, man. I was a younger man. I spent a lot of time with that when I was in college.
Yeah. No, that would be crazy though. Seeing your face scan on there and everything.
Dude.
That'd be dope.
Dude, we got to figure out a way to make that happen, man. We got to pull that off somehow, some way. Jaziah Harper, it's so great to meet you, man. Let's remind everybody. So is it even worth them trying to follow you on Instagram, or would you maybe say don't even bother?
I mean, if you mess with me, you can. I mean, I don't know.
It's like there's not a ton there, is what I would say. But give him a follow nonetheless. And it's just at Jaziah Harper, correct?
Yeah, 1 H in the middle. I just have it all together.
Okay, and then is it the same thing on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I actually kind of slowed down on Twitter. I just used it to post clips and stuff.
I did notice that, right? Like it was like all clips from your season.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude. Good for you. Staying out of the it is a cesspool, man. It is toxic as heck.
Our generation, I mean, that's the people's whole lives are just spent on there. So,
dude, you are way better off avoiding all of that.
Trust me, I know.
Hey, Jaziah, really great to meet you, man. Thank you for spending the time with us, and looking forward to seeing you guys get out there together this season. We will make sure to be in touch. Appreciate you hopping on with us, dude.
Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate it.